Hi, this is Farhan and welcome back to another video. It has been close to 2 years since the lawsuit was filed against Ripple that pretty much brought down the price of XRP. Well, it is finally here. It is finally the beginning of the end of this Ripple lawsuit, because today is the day the details of the summary judgment have been made public. And this is something we had been waiting for quite some time. They were filed on 13th September, but we were supposed to be getting officially these details on 19th September, but thankfully they were published a couple of days earlier. And in today's video, we are going to be going through the entire details, and I'm going to be telling you what exactly they have talked about and what exactly can happen in the future. I'll try my best to explain in as simple terms as possible, because there are a lot of surprises within these documents. They're around 150 pages, so there's a lot of things to be talking about in today's video. And as I mentioned, a lot of surprises, not just from the side of SEC, but also from Ripple. Even to my own surprise, I did not expect the things I expected Ripple to say. So a lot of very interesting details in today's video. So without wasting much time, let's dive in. Let's start off with the basics, because that is the angle which Ripple is coming from. So in this summary judgment, it is basically when both sides, in our case Ripple and the SEC, they go in front of the judge and say, hey, we have enough evidence for you to make a ruling on it. And that is exactly what stage we're in. And this is pretty much the final stage of this law. So this is why a lot of people within the Ripple and XRP community are very, very happy. Now, before going on to more details, I just want to talk about some really surprises which we saw in their briefs. Combined, there something like 150 pages. And if you guys are interested in reading that, I will be linking that in the description box below, both the Ripple and the SEC side. Now, let's start off with the surprise that is coming from Ripple. We have been hearing about the fair notice defense for a very long time, and in fact we were saying that this is one of their smoking guns. And throughout their entire summary brief, there's not a single mention of the entire fair notice defense, which personally for me, that was a very big surprise. Maybe Ripple is thinking that they have such a strong core argument here that they're going to win this lawsuit just based on that. Now, the surprise which came from the SEC side, which in my opinion is a very good surprise, and that is they're not arguing that XRP itself is a security, but they're saying they're talking more about investment contracts. More about that in later part of the video. So that is a very good thing, because that means that you're not holding something that is a security that would almost be no value to you. So that is a very good surprise coming from the SEC side. And the final and a really huge surprise that came from a Ripple side is because they're going straight for the basics. They are talking about in what exactly is an investment contract, and kind of proving in that way that, hey, what Ripple has been doing, it is an XRP it did not constitute as an investment contract in Ripple. And that is absolutely huge. They're basically going after the law here. SEC is coming more of a factual side. They're talking about very specific things, but Ripple is coming on a much broader term. They're going after the law. And if Ripple wins, it would be absolutely enormous, not just for Ripple and XRP, but for the entire world of crypto. That's absolutely enormous. Now, I have to mention that even though Ripple did not talk about the fair notice defense, that smoking gun which we had been talking for quite a long time, but the SEC did so. So that way, in a sense, that Ripple has to reply to a lot of the arguments which the SEC is presenting here. So in that way, Ripple will be talking about the fair notice defense anyways. So that's one of the arguments. And another argument which was reiterated by attorney Jeremy Hogan, in which he basically said that one of the reasons why we could be seeing the fair notice defense later on is if even some of the things that are presented right now, if Ripple loses based on that, Ripple has the fair notice defense to fall back on. It's kind of like a backup which Ripple is going to be using in the future if things come to that. So that can also be another reason why Ripple did not mention that, even though I personally would have loved to see something like that. But they focus solely on the basic definition of the investment contracts here. Now, keep in mind that the entire lawsuit is based on the Howey test, in which it's showing that, hey, basically XRP is investment contract based on the Howey test. But in this summary brief, Ripple really went for the basics and said that what exactly is an investment contract and how did that came about. To put it into brief details, what Ripple is trying to say here, we have in its motion for summary judgment, Ripple claimed that the SEC's case boils down to an impermissibly open-ended assertion of jurisdiction over any transfer of an asset. The motion also argued that the SEC cannot establish that XRP token holders could not reasonably expect profits based on Ripple's efforts, as there was no contract obligation between Ripple and XRP token holders. Basically here Ripple is trying to go to the very basics of the 1930s, saying that how the investment contract came about and what exactly is an investment contract, and they talked something about the blue skies law, and in that it basically talked about, we have it here, there also can be no investment contract unless the contract includes an undertaking of post-sale obligation by the promoter to the investor. Otherwise, the contract is simply an asset sale. And this is one of their crucial argument which Ripple is trying to bring here, and talking about, hey, after the sale was done, and honestly Ripple has not directly been selling to the end retail here, but even if it was to some other people directly, there was no post obligation from Ripple's side, and they are kind of showing that, hey, this is where the meaning of the investment contract was derived from, and this is the entire Howey is based on this. Wow, this was something a lot of people really did not expect. Maybe this is why they are charging the big bucks. And then we have the SEC who put it. On the other hand, the SEC's own motion for summary judgment argued that there can be an investment contract without a contract, any rights granted to the purchaser, and without any obligation to the issuer. But Ripple argued in its motion that is and should not be the law, because without these essential features, there is nothing to which the Howey test can sensibly applied. So as you guys can see, basically it's all boiling down to the very basics and talking about investment contract. And although they have not filed their responses to each other, which we will be getting in the next couple of weeks, and that is going to be very interesting. But so far both sides have brought absolutely great arguments, and I'm slightly going to be biased towards Ripple, obviously. But what Ripple is bringing here and basically going straight after the basics and kind of putting the SEC in a weird position, and that is why we have been talking about the Ripple settlement, about saying that, hey, there is a very high chance that things can be settled. But at this point it seems that we might be going all the way through, and from what we're seeing and from the arguments that Ripple is bringing, wow, they are truly doing an amazing job. As soon as the summary judgment details were filed, the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, he went on to Twitter and put it, today's filings make it clear that the SEC isn't interested in applying the law. They want to remake it all in an impermissible effort to expand their jurisdiction far beyond the authority granted to them by Congress. And then we also have Stuart here, who is the lead counsel for Ripple. He puts it, my hot take, after 2 years of litigation, the SEC is unable to identify any contract for investment. That's what the statute requires, and cannot satisfy a single prong of the Supreme Court's Howey test. Everything else is just noise. And he perfectly puts it into this tweet, talking about, hey, if you go down to basics, the SEC, what they have, they really can't prove much. So wow, we have a lot of these details which we had gotten today, and in the coming weeks we are going to be getting even more, because both sides, Ripple and the SEC, they are going to be responding to these summary judgments from each side and kind of attacking each other. And I will 100% be making videos on that, and if you want to stay updated on those videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Well guys, those were the details for today's video. Let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section below. I love reading all your comments. And regarding today's video, this was the first step in this summary judgment, and in the coming weeks and months we are going to be getting a lot more details, and a couple of months after that this lawsuit is going to get the final verdict. The judge is going to be giving the final verdict, and the lawsuit will finally end. Wow, we have been waiting for such a time for a very long time. Anyways, if you are new to my channel, consider subscribing, giving this video a like, and as always, I will see you next time.